Boom. All right, let's let some people jump on here real quick. We'll be ready to rock and roll. Let's see. Just allow a few more to get on here. Hope everybody's having a good day. I will tell you that. There we go. Got some people in here. Got the chat going. So let me drop some messages in here. First, let me fix my screen. I'm in the new setup in here. Y'all bear with me 1 second here. All right, make sure these messages are coming through too. Hey, can you guys see the messages okay in the chat? Let's see here, got live chat going on. Sweet, sound good? It's the first time that I've used this setup on a live stream on YouTube. Normally it's pre-recording, it's Zoom, so just trying a little bit of something different here, but as long as everyone can hear me good, that's what I care about. Beautiful. All right, so what I'm going to talk about today was yesterday. For the third time in history of the Dow Jones, or as far as I know trading, you saw the market just completely crash itself and then completely rebound. And I posted up the Instagram video yesterday, and people were like, Andy, how did you know that was going to happen? How did you know we were going to go up, slam, crash down, and then come right back up? So I was like, what I'll do, I'll jump on a live, and I'll show you guys. So without further ado, let's get on this real quick. I'm hiding myself for a second because obviously what matters is the chart at this point. All right, so let's look at yesterday. So the first thing I was looking at was the daily, okay? So we had this wick down here on the bottom. So the first thing I did was take and fill in the wick on the bottom, which we like to call a wick fill, okay? So when we saw that, then we can look at the weekly. When we look at the weekly and we zoom out, we have something really cool over here. It's that swing high right there. If we go over here to it and zoom in, show how fun this gets real quick. There we go. Zoom in one more time, and we can take now, we won't even have to do a wick fill. We'll just hit the top of that candle there, and then the base of that wick that we have. So this is all COVID that happened through here. If you're familiar with COVID, you know that this was when no one was working, everyone was staying at home, businesses had shut down, airlines had shut down. Anything that took place, this shut down, all right? But how are we gonna get in that situation now? The only thing that's bad right now is our economy, right? But as far as a world perspective or a US perspective, everything's still running. People are on flights, people are going places, people are doing their thing, they're living their life. So when we see this on the weekly, all we've gotta do now is go to the right, and we can see exactly where we're at on the weekly. Look where that wick is. Take it down to the daily, and go over, and look where we're at. Everything we saw from here to here is that big gap. This was the bottom of our daily. If we put, and we'll turn this line down here to black, and now we go over to the weekly and look at that same spot again, okay? So let's go over here and look at that same spot again. Look at where that was. It dipped right into that area and then popped right back up. So for me, the way I was looking at this was there's no way, with all the presidential stuff going on, you've got all of your campaigns that are about to take shape, we can't well, I say we, I really don't care, but the administration at hand is not going to allow this to dip into COVID territory right now without a catastrophic event, okay? Andy, what's a catastrophic event mean? That means we have to have, you've got to have something like stuff that brings the market past this zone, a huge crash, an actual admittance from the government that we're in a full-blown recession, terrorist attacks, the fact that we go to war with another country, anything that takes shape during that time, here it is. So it's like if that's the case, and that's what's taking shape, we're not going to pass this zone. We're going to bounce, okay? Now, here's the cool part. Let me go find, I've got to go download this real quick. It's the only thing about doing stuff on a live, I'm not fully prepared. So let me download my template real quick. And I'm going to show you the exact template that I was trading on. And this way you guys will know what I'm talking about. Let's see here. These markups. Download the template. Yeah, I need that in desktop. Boom. All right. So I'm going to load this template over here. So this right here is our daily, right? All right. So let's go over here to this markup. Let's load template. And we'll go to, I think I got it in downloads. Is it not Andy? Oh, it's desktop. All right, so this is where it gets beautiful. So I'd said, when I gave this template out, I was on Trading Nut last week. I mean, obviously, everyone on here goes to Trading Nut, right? Real quick, everyone watched Trading Nut last Friday. I hope so. Because if so, this is exactly what I was talking about on Trading Nut. So let's dive back into it. On Trading Nut, I said, if we break this trend through here, we're going to push up. We're going to push up through these zones next week into the daily. So on Trading Nut, basically I said, we're going to fall back down to this daily zone and then we'll bounce. There's no way we can push past this right here, because if we push past this, we've left all these orders open, okay? All these orders are open. These orders down here, guys, don't need to be open. They need to be closed out. Do you know why? People are in profit. The bank has more to go down and catch these orders and come back up than they did to continue pushing up. All right, so from a bank perspective, that's what we're looking at. We don't want to push up, we want to push down. So when I was looking at this, I uploaded this on 10/12, and I said this gray box right here is our TP. All we have to do is break this trend line, which is right here. Once we break this trend line, we'll push up, and then we'll push up to this upper trend line. Now granted, I uploaded it on 10/12 at 9, it was right here. So right here's where I uploaded it. I said we needed a 30-minute candle close above it. So look, no 30-minute candle close on 10/12, nowhere, 10/13 the next day, boom. 30-minute candle close right there, a retest, and it takes off. And what's it do? It hits that upper trend line. Now I said if we don't break this upper trend line, we're going to do what? Reject. Look what that did. Right there, there's the trend line, there's the wick. You can actually go, I do want to note this on YouTube, you can actually go into the Discord, and I'll post this template up for you guys, and that way you can download and see it for yourself. This was already pre-done. The whole Discord already had this. Everyone had it. So at that point when it broke and it rejected here, where this price rejected at 29,690. Okay, so remember that number, 29,690. Let's go to our daily. 29,690. So let's plug that in. 29,690. All right, and we're going to make this one neon green. This right here is exactly where we rejected on that daily. When you look at it on the 30-minute, it looks beautiful too. Right there, bam, slams. All right, so what did it do? Slam back down here to the bottom. Now, what's the bottom? Well, if you're following the daily, the bottom is a wick fill. What happens when we hit a wick fill? A wick fill is the TP, and then normally what does it do? Rejects. So what did US30 do? It rejected. And then when it rejected, it broke trend again, all the way up to the top, did a retest, hit TP, and kept going. Now, Andy, why did it reject up here? Doesn't matter why it rejected up here. This was your trade here. This was your break of your trend. This was another trend line break. There's your TP. This move here was easy. This move here was easy. And as long as you protected your entries, you were in never fear. But from the time this broke down here, stop loss was low. Let me show you why stop loss was low. I'm trying to run through this quick because I know I'm going to have a lot of questions. You have wick fills. See that little yellow dot right there at the bottom? It's called a wick fill. The moment that you see that wick fill right there, you do this. Fill it in to the base of the candle, just like that. And now if you want to go to the 5-minute, We can go through here. Now let me go back over. A person had, right there, you had 30 minutes to decide if you wanted to take this trade or not. You want me to show you where your stop loss was? So right there is 28,640. It's always 10 pips below that. 28,630. That's your stop loss. So let's pretend that you wanted to trade this on a smaller account. So let's say you only had a $10,000 account and you could only risk $1,000, which is a lot. That's 10%, but you want to risk $1,000. Your stop loss on this trade, if you entered it here, your stop loss right here was 67 pips. If you entered it right there out top of the gray box, your stop loss was 109 pips. So let's just say somewhere you caught through here in this section, your stop loss for this trade was 65 pips. So you take 1,000 divided by 65. It means you were able to enter this trade at $15 a pip, okay? So the moment you entered this trade, you go back to your 30-minute, and then you can see where this trade took off. If you held this trade, this is TP. You can always use your swing highs to TPs. From here to that TP was 937 pips, which means at $15 a pip, $1,000 risk just made you 14K. If you started closing positions out partially, anywhere through here, this was a $15,000 to $16,000 trade for you to only risk $1,000. That's why I preach wick fills, take the trade. Are they always going to work? No, but your stop loss is extremely, extremely, extremely low, which is how you manage this trade. Now, if you got in here, you got stopped out. You tried again, you made it. That's how you play wick fills. 30-minute, you wait for that swing low, you wait for the retest, you can go down that 5-minute, you can get it. Outside of that, we also have a daily here. So it's like this morning's trade. Obviously, I was in buys this morning because I took a trend line break. However, if you were not in buys this morning, what did you have? You had another swing high with a wick fill. You take that down to the 5 minutes, there's your wick. As soon as you see that swing high, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and wait for that retest. You're 10 pips above it. So I put you at 30,464, right there. It falls down, it comes up, bam, gives you a retest. That's the time you're going to pull the trigger on that. Even if you're on the 1 minute, I want you to look at this. On the 1 minute, that's what it looks like. It comes up, it retests, falls. On this retest, if you're playing rejections, this is exactly where you can click sell. This is your stop loss. If you click sell right here, your stop loss was 32 pips. Which means if you're willing to risk $1,000 for this trade, you do 1,000 divided by 32, and that brings you to $31 a pip on this trade. Okay? Guys, look at this. At $31 a pip on this trade, you're currently, right now, at 711 pips. You're over $22,000 on that trade, risking $1,000. And if we go over here and look, right there is your TP, that dot. So once it hits that, that's TP. You can close partials out, or you can take the full TP, however you want to, but that's your TP. Guess where your second TP would be? Your next dot. So we can zoom out and see if there's any dots in between there. You got a dot right there. Another TP there. These are for you to close partials. And you can just go through there and layer them just like that. This is how, when you guys see me build a small account, the questions that I get the most is, Andy, how do you build such a small account quickly? How do you scale into it? I'm utilizing these wick fills and also rejections. Trendline breaks can be a little rough, especially in today's market when you got big pushes, because with those big pushes, guess what ends up happening? You got bigger stop losses. But I'm also going to show you another way that you could have gotten to yesterday's trade if you wasn't even using my template. If you were trading by yourself and you had the dots. Let me show you a little secret here. You can let me clear off this whole entire chart. All right. So now what you can do is, see these little dots right here? As you got these dots, this was the yesterday fallout, right? Okay. So when it rejected, you may have said, I don't even want to play this rejection. It just needs to break these zones. Well, here's your zone. There's a dot, and there's a dot. If it breaks those zones, it's going to push up. You go to the 5 minute. Use a zoom over. Price came up, boom, broke, closed a candle, retest. There's entry 1. Came up, tapped it, it pulled up. That's the smallest retest you got. Boom, entry 2. There's your 2 entries right there. Now on these trades, you know where your stop loss is? Stop loss is a big one on this because it's your last swing low. So if you took this trade right here, you're willing to take an 870 pip stop loss. That's a massive stop loss. Again, that's why I like taking these wick fills, because even if you took a wick fill right here, you got knocked out at 50 pips. But then you had another one hit here, and if you took that one, you didn't get knocked out, and I promise you, you're not mad. You just made 1,500 pips. That 50 pip stop loss did nothing to your account because one, hopefully you wasn't over leveraged, but two, you're able to take that trade. So now let's look at the daily of where we're currently at. This is where we're at. If you guys know me, I love a nice little wick fill. I mean a gap. So what do we have in the market? Well, currently right now in the market, we have that little boy right there. Bam and bam. So for me, what am I looking for? Well, I would love to see a hit of this 29,545, 500, and then just go ahead and take it and push it right back up, almost into market open territory in here, and we end with a little bitty wick right there. Or it could come back and it could eat this whole candle back up, but that's what I want. I want to see a hit here and then a bounce back up and just leave starting out a little bitty tiny candle right there. And then once it gets up here, you know, we closed out half the orders from the big push yesterday. It may try to close out a little bit more and then get us a couple more pushes up here before another try to push down. That's how I'm analyzing it, which obviously, as you guys know, how I analyze the charts and the trades can change daily because price is changing every single minute. So we'll catch up on questions real quick because I know there's a few in here. So just give me a bit, guys, so I can go through these questions. For all the faces I've not seen in a long time, good to see you guys in here, and thanks so much for joining. I'm at work today. I'll be watching this when I get off. So glad to see you upload today. Yeah, so that's the biggest reason I want to do these on, you know, streams live on YouTube, is because when I get done with it, it goes directly on YouTube and it just stays there for you guys to go back and watch. So I don't have to go in and edit it, don't have to chop it up, nothing. I just hope the quality is good, because on my screen, quality looks great. It's crisp, it's clear. We've got state-of-the-art cameras in here. Everything's working perfect. So hopefully that transitions over to YouTube the way that I want it to. I'm at work today, so yep, it'll be uploaded. Everyone go like the stream. Please like, subscribe, share, you know, turn on notifications, do whatever the YouTube people tell you to do. How do you draw the rectangle box? Well, I'll answer that one. That one's easy. So the way you draw the rectangle box, I actually have to share my screen a little differently. So it's not going to show you how I draw the box, but I can tell you. So see this little bitty button up here at the top? It says draw a rectangle. You can get to that. If you right click on it, choose customize. And when you choose customize, it's going to lead you into a customization to where you can add that to your toolbar. And then once you draw it, it goes apart. Now you need to right click on that box and choose properties. When you right click and choose properties on that box, you can change the color of it. And the most important part to get it to fill is you go to parameters, and there's a little box in the lower right hand corner that says fill. And if you click that check mark, it allows you to fill this and then have that box drawn on there. So hopefully that helps. Let's see here. I got in it too early, got knocked out, stayed out of it. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. CPI news can either make or break you. 30-minute wick fills plus 1-minute trend line breaks are deadly all day. 30-minute wick fill equals magic all day. What does the wick fill mean? So wick fill means so sometimes I don't have to have a swing high or swing low. Okay, so meaning I can take this right here and fill this wick in and drag it all the way across, or fill in any of these bottom wicks. But I normally like doing my wick fills on these swing lows or highs. So whenever you see these little bitty yellow dots on my chart, those are the ones I like to fill in. So like, let's say you were trading this morning, okay? And you saw that swing high dot get painted when price started coming down. You can take that and do that number right there. You can just draw it all the way across, go to the 5-minute, and in real time, obviously it's gonna be happening. You're gonna see just price go down, and you're gonna be like, crap, I missed the move. Oh, you may have missed the move, but you can also wait for that retest. Some people will consider this a retest. Some people want this as a retest. With me, I'm okay with taking the trade if I get a little wick in there, because I know my stop loss is low. I mean, you're talking about a 66 pip stop loss. That's absolutely nothing. And then if it comes down, yeah, you've got a little bit of drawdown. You got 144 pips, 145 pips of drawdown. When it comes back up, not drawdown, sorry, you're going to be in profit through here, but when it comes back up, you're going to be in drawdown. So drawdown, you've got about 48 pips. So at one point you're at 144 pips in profit, comes back up, you're in drawdown. If you protected the entry, you're going to get knocked out. But there's really no reason to protect because your stop loss is so tight. So it's like if you lose this trade, you're losing 62, 65 pips. That's absolutely nothing for the trade you're trying to hit. And obviously some people will be okay with making that. You get a 150, 180 pip run, you may be okay with that trade and close it out altogether. But that's what I mean by wick fills. Let's go back over here. Do you trade this at the open during news? I don't trade normally Mondays, but I'll trade Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on my private Discord. And then on Fridays, I trade on the Trading Nut stream here on YouTube. But I like to trade New York Open. I like the movement. I like the volatility. It just works out great. Let's see. After a retest, at what point do you enter? Anytime, because your stop loss is so low within those zones, you're able to take that trade. It's crisp, like 4K quality. Good, that's what I wanted. Did you put today's win in your signal group? I don't have a signal group, I have a Discord. So within the Discord itself, I've posted that I go live on Trading Nut probably 120 times. So that's why I tell people every week, subscribe, turn on notifications and everything to where you know that I'm going live on Trading Nut, and that way you join us there. Excuse me, guys. Let's see here. Quality is incredible. Good, good, good. On 4 hour, we had a dot-to-dot bullish break trend line. Yep. Higher time frame, such a proper swing low. Let's see. Yeah, you'd still want to look at that on the higher time frames for sure. If you're not on the higher time frames, you're going to get caught in kind of the mess because anytime it's going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, it's just good to analyze, daily. I really don't use the, 1 hour or the 4 hour. I get my daily and then just go to my 30 minute. And that kind of gives me everything I need to see there. Let's see here. Get through all these questions. The dots are owned Carbon Capital. That's the broker I use. That's where they're programmed at to be used. We do have a trading view platform. So they've been sending out little notifications here and there through emails. Obviously, since I'm their trading analyst, they're going to have me test it out before we roll it out to the public. So super stoked about that. But you'll be able to take trades on Trading View through Carbon Capital, which is going to be a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I love MT5. I love everything it stands for. But at the end of the day, I like the way Trading View looks. Like, it just looks clean. So I love it. The dots do repaint. So good question. So on these dots that repaint, you're always looking for the opposite side of the trade. Meaning if this dot's going to repaint, I always like to look for the rejection. Okay, so if here this would have been a swing low, I would want some sort of structure unless you're doing just the scalps. Okay, meaning if you're doing a wick fill, you really need that 30 minute. The 30 minute will repaint, but normally when you get a solid 30 minute, it's going to fall on the other side. And hold on. Normally when it repaints up here, it's already blown up. It's going to go the opposite direction, and you're not going to get in any trades. It's going to continue going up. What messes people up is when they trade the 1 minute, and they're looking for that dot, and that dot will repaint on the 1 minute. So if you're trading the 1 minute dots, basically you're looking for something to reverse. So you can say, okay, here's my next dot right there. So you can do this and say if price gets on top of this dot, then the next dot really in this area is going to be this top one. So your trade that you're looking for is a clean break, which granted you've got the wick fill here, okay? So you can go ahead and fill that in. And that's kind of your break zone. So if price can get on top of this gray box, then that right there is going to be your trade, 108 pips up. And it may come in here and get through here and consolidate, and then fall out. But really getting on top of like 29,696 and then get on top of this gray box, that's where you're going to push up to there. That would be your next stop. And you can look at it on the 30 minute, just kind of see how that looks. You're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Because getting on top of, this box here, that level up there is going to be where those candles, both have your little double top. So we can see what we can get on top of it. Let's see here. Read some more questions. How often does 30-minute zone fill rejection work? And then simply take, I mean, that's how I've been trading. I've been trading the wick fills on the dots for going on 3 years now, and using them to connect the dots for trend line breaks and zone structure. That's all I've used. You mentioned in a previous Zoom that Carbon is currently focused on getting TradingView. Please tell me the dots. Yes, we will be working our hardest to get the dots on TradingView as well. So the goal is to have, I mean, everyone marks up on TradingView, and then most people don't even like trading on MT4, MT5. They use their phone. So the goal was, if most everyone's using TradingView, why don't we just move the platform to TradingView where people can trade there, mark up there. It's cleaner. People seem to like it more. So not bad if you ask me. And thank you, Marino. On pairs, do you do the same setup? Yes, pairs do the same setup, but I do it on the 1 hour. I call those fast and slow retest. Fast retest, you don't see any chart space between candles. Slow retest, yep, completely dead on. Daniel, do you need to have a bearish daily base bias to take the short you just showed, or take them either way? I take them anyway, because you're playing the small moves. You know, when you're playing the 30-minute, you're playing these smaller moves. If you're playing the daily, you know, you're trading a much larger account. You're trying to get these big daily moves. And if you're playing the daily, like you didn't have a move here, you didn't have a move here, you didn't have a move here, and then that was your move. So you had to wait technically 4 days for that move to come. Most traders that I know are not capable of having the patience of waiting 3 days to take trades. They want the trades now. So, French trading style. Thanks for being here. So I'm more of a intraday trader. I'll get into the trades. I have held trades for a long time. I have trades on some of my accounts that I've been holding now for 3 to 4 weeks. I held my GU trade since March, and I just closed it out about probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I'm kind of both. Whatever the market throws at me is what I'm going to do. And Aaron Channel, let's do this more often. I'm going to be doing more live streams often. I'll probably actually do, because of the trading nut, I'm going to stop doing the trading nut thing on Fridays because I'll be traveling. I got a lot of things going on. So I'm going to start trying to do those on my own through the Discord group, and obviously here on YouTube for you guys, just here and there on Fridays. So it'll be a lot of fun. Carbon capital funding programs are still in the works, but focusing on the TradingView right now in the moment. That's kind of the big thing. Yeah, I can show my screen. Nothing's going on. Sorry, I was just answering questions instead of sharing my screen. So let me go back to that. So when I was talking about the daily stuff, if you're trading the daily, this right here is not a move, that's not a move, that's not a move, this was your move. These were your moves. You're looking at those daily rejections. So a lot of traders are trading this 30-minute, so I consider the 30-minute still a smaller move, which is a solid move all day long. It's more intraday, and they can turn into a swing trade. If you enter the trade here, and you protected that entry and you closed out partials, you're still holding that trade. So, just something to think about. Let's see here. Sitting recovered from surgery right now at the hospital. Good time for this live. It's giving me something to do. Trade and talk with Andy. Awesome. Tech market trade. I appreciate you being here, man, for real. Let's see here. Make this screen just a little bit bigger for me so I can see. I wish you a speedy recovery. Yes, everyone wishing tech market a speedy recovery, hands down. So guys, I mean, that's really it. I just wanted to, go in here, put something together so you guys could see what was taking shape with the markups and everything that I had going on. And that's really it. I also wanted people to know that, yesterday I put the little teaser video on Instagram saying, literally walk by the computer. Hey, we're going to go up touch the trend line. We're going to reject, come to the bottom, and then shoot right back up. And a lot of people had just messaged me saying, how did you know that was going to happen? I was like, well, one, my template told me it was going to that I uploaded. Two, it's a daily rejection zone, a weekly, and a monthly. So there's a ton of support there. So if we hit it, we're going to reject. And for us to go into COVID territory, we have to have something extremely bad happening. And right now, stuff like the inflation rates and mortgage rates and all that stuff, that's nothing compared to what we had through the COVID pandemic. So it'd have to be something catastrophic to get us in that price range again. So that's where I'm at. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Stop loss, always 10 pips above 30-minute wick fill. Yes, I'll always use 10 pips above a swing high or swing low marker. Camera looking crisp. Thank you so much. Again, like I said, if I'm putting content on YouTube, I guess it needs to look the part, right? I've learned so much not only about trading, but discipline and market fundamentals from Discord. Man, and thank you for being part of the Discord. And I want to go out and just say, if you're part of the Discord and you're supporting us, thank you. I've got a few questions that come in too about the Telegram. Like, Andy, we joined the Telegram. Is the Telegram different than Discord? It is. So the Telegram is basically made for EA chart markups, okay? So I have an EA that runs. With the market being as volatile as it's been, with all the news coming out, the EA cuts itself off. When the market, so like next week, the EA will be turned back on. And as it sees chart markups that are coming, it'll spit me out a number. I'll go look at that trade and say, okay, this trade makes sense, and then I'll manually mark it up and I'll share it with that group. So that's what the Telegram is. It's all EA markups. Everything that happens within the Discord is done by me, all the lives, the markups, the chats, everything. Excuse me, that's all me. So, and I'll catch up on Instagram. I've got a lot of messages I gotta get done. So, guys, I appreciate it. How can y'all help me? Man, just share this YouTube, like the YouTube, turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel, and I'll do more of these. If I see that people want to see more of the markups, see more of how I trade and trading live, I have absolutely no problem doing this, whatsoever. And then as far as the Discord itself, how to join, because we are private now, the best thing to do, I'm gonna go and drop a link in here so you guys will see it. So if you want to join the Discord, I basically screen members now. I do it through a KYC, and that way I'm able to make sure that, we're getting the right people in there. The right people. So, Control V. All right, so fill that form. Excuse me, I just posted in the chat. Fill that form out. Basically, it is going to be a KYC. That way I know who I'm getting. They're real people. They're not bots. They're not going to come on there and scam. And if people start to scam, guess what I have? I have your information. So that's the biggest thing I wanted to do. Just to give you a background of it, we had, like 3 or 4 months ago, a guy joined the Discord. He's promoting that, he makes tons of money trading, yada, yada, yada. He's traded a demo account. And people were like, cool, I'll sign up for your trading. So people were sending him like 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K. And then all of a sudden, the guy dips. Well, all I had was an email address. It was a bogus email address. I didn't have anything else. No one, he was basically a ghost. So I was like, how can I fix this? Well, we do KYC now. So now we do it. We log IP addresses. We have your driver's license, a picture of you. We have everything. So that way, if someone does something stupid, we got all the information we need. So we're good. So guys, that's it. Let's see. Hi, Andy. Do you know when Carbon Capital will be released to TradingView? I don't know when they'll be releasing it. The template will be released when Carbon Capital opens up the platform on TradingView. So as soon as that gets there, we'll be ready to rock and roll. And obviously, you guys will know first because I'll live stream it here on YouTube for everyone. So that's it. I hope everyone has an amazing Friday. Thanks for being here. Hopefully, you learned something from this markup and kind of see what I saw within the market. And now we just keep our fingers crossed that next week we get some good news and just get some nice moves in the market. This week was really nice for the moves that we had, but they were abrupt moves. Now, like I said, this was the 3rd largest, when you look at what we had yesterday, this was the 3rd largest move as far as a comeback that we've ever had in the market. I mean, that's massive. Now, granted, people say, oh, we've had 1,500 plus moves in the market. Yes, but not one that went all the way down and then shot up that high. So it's been very, volatile here, very undecided. Actually, let me show my screen. So, it's been very volatile, here within that market, and then very undecided here. So I'm curious to see how Friday's candle is going to end. It would be wild for them to end it right there. Like right there. Just end the candle at 30,000 even. We know that's a very sentimental zone. It would be crazy. But then again, they could just mess with everyone and push it all the way back down to this area. So we'll see. I love it. But you guys have an amazing weekend, amazing day. We'll see you soon.